What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Ultravox. And we're returning to Quartet 1982. Thank you again to Philip. And the next track is When the Scream Subsides, which is a pretty intense title. Are you coming up? Thinking about it. But yeah, it sounds like when some scary or intense situation is beginning to abate or resolve. But obviously, if there's been screaming, which is more than just shouting, right? Shouting is saying words very loudly. Screaming is just vocalizing in an intense way, often done during horror or pain or some unpleasant experience. I suppose one could scream in a more joyful way, but that's not typically the word you would use. So the title sounds dangerous, if not outright dark. And yet, at the same time, by saying it's subsiding, whatever is causing the screaming has come to an end, or at least the person can no longer scream because they've been doing it for so long they're out of breath. I feel like there's maybe a number of different possibilities, but it sounds dangerous, it sounds intense. I'll see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Ultravox, the track is When the Scream Subsides, and it's from their 1982 album Quartet.
Every time. Just the two of us. All the time. Nothing serious. We pretend. Timers on our side. Till the end. When the scream subsides. Yes, we had it all. Had the key gripped in our
That's cool. I like that one a lot. And I'm gonna say it has a bit of that early Duran flavor, a bit of that new wave synth rock type of feel where there's a lot of electronic sounds, but it's also rockin'. You can hear the guitar and the drums. Sounds like something that maybe could have been on Duran's first album. I don't know if I'm alone in hearing that, but either way, I like Midge's vocals. I like a lot of the synth work. I like the live drum feel. As far as I can tell, it's talking about people who were both friends and lovers, and they played their parts well, but maybe they ended up tongue-tied, which feels like it could be a bit of a dual level line, meaning tongue-tied, you can't quite think of what to say, but if you're lovers and you're tongue-tied, there's maybe a bit of a physical intimacy, double entendre there, but it sounds like maybe everything has run its course, although time on your side would maybe suggest you've continued on, but if the scream is subsiding, it does sound like maybe whatever intensity was there is coming to an end, so it sounds like a song that, again, not unlike a Duran, Simon Le Bon, it's a bit opaque, you can take some of the lines different ways, type of songwriting. It feels like there's a bit of ambiguity, but it's about two people who have had some level of intimacy, maybe on different scales, initially as friends and then going beyond that, and now maybe subsiding. But again, I like some of those organ sounds. There was like a synth or like tension string at some point. There was a bit of an echoed crescendo, which felt like an analog for a scream. So yeah, a lot going on sonically. I enjoy the vocals. I enjoy the very early 80s sound. Like not just 80s sound, but it sounds like 81, 82, not like 83, 84, 85, certainly even much less like 87, 88. So again, going into these deep dives a couple years ago, I would often talk about, oh, you know, I really enjoy 80s synth pop, and I'm thinking about primarily Depeche Mode, but also Erasure, a little Eurythmics, at least a few of the songs of some of the groups that I've learned about in a more comprehensive way. But groups like Ultravox and groups like Echo and the Bunnymen, I only knew maybe by name, maybe not even at all, and they have fleshed out my understanding of what was happening in the early 80s, in the mid 80s, in the late 80s, and even then, of course, those are oversimplifications, generalizations, and different groups were perhaps a bit ahead of the game, you know, hearing some of the synth work from Newman in the late 70s and so on, OMD also. So, yeah, ultimately, my understanding of what it means to talk about 80s music, even specifically synth pop / synth rock, has evolved, but this does very much sound like early 80s to me, so shout out to not only Ultravox, but again to Phil for sharing this and much, much else. Shout out to Luca. We'll see what she does here. She's going to go down to the floor. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.